Maybe we should start with this overreaching question. Do we have a three-way title race? What do you reckon?
Well, certainly now that, and it's taken its time, isn't it, to get to this point where we're halfway through the season and finally what you've got is the top three. I'll tell you what I think. Scotty might disagree, but I look at Rangers. I don't think they're anywhere near strong enough to be considered genuine contenders. Now, the caveat being in January, what does Danny Rowe do? What does Andrew Kavanagh? Does he really roll the dice here? Rangers will only be, I think, genuinely in this race if they sign 3 or 4 guys who are starters, and that includes a striker, because they don't look like a team that can, they really struggle for goals. So if he gets all that and he really bulks up on quality, I don't mean squad players either, then Rangers could yet contend this one. Celtic, it looks as if it's starting to fit into place, certainly the final third for Wilfred Nancy. There's going to be a lot of shots in goal. There's going to be, a high attacking intensity to what they do. That's clear already. He's got 2 wins under his belt. But for me, it's the opposite problem. They don't have a defence to win a championship. And I think his style of play, that's not going to change. So for me, if you needn't to score 3 and 4 goals on the road just to win games of football, I think you've got to struggle to win the title.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Hearts are the out-and-out favourites at this point. And they suffered a real setback at Easter Road, and the neighbours loved it. But it was just more of an off day. They'd so many of their top players not performing at their best levels. They were 3 goals down, and in a pretty even contest. So Hearts weren't great. Hibs weren't terrific in the first half. It was everything you expect from an Edinburgh derby in terms of the hurly-burly. But there certainly wasn't 3 goals in it. But what you have to say is Hibs took their goals and fashioned their goals absolutely superbly well. But you saw Hearts looking about going, how did this happen? And I thought that once Shankland scores, I think 75 minutes on the clock, all of a sudden Hearts turned up. It was only at that point in the game. It wasn't even, the third Hibs goal coming to start the second half about 3 minutes in, and Hearts didn't even really contest the game up until Shankland gets the breakthrough, and then they were battering Hibs, and probably quite unlucky not to come away with something. But what I noticed in the interviews afterwards with Derek McInnes and Lon Shankland, they were furious with themselves. Right. They were furious, seething. And I think that's really interesting, because I think that sends out a message. There was no shrugging of the shoulders or saying, a hard luck story, or, well, there's always another game, a few days' time. They were genuinely raging. And I think that's a really good sign, because it tells me a lot about their mentality going into the second half of the season. So, answer to your question, Rangers will really need to do well in the transfer window to have a chance. Defence is going to cause them problems. And I think Hearts will stay in the race. They're going to stay in this fight. I don't think that they're just going to disappear like snow off a dike in the second half of the campaign.
What do you think, Scott? You were at Ibrox. Do you think Rangers have got it in them?
I think what's certain for me is, Daniel, and I think even the weekend proved it, is all 3 of these teams will drop more points between now and the end of the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, in essence, that, I suppose, does give you a title race. I agree with Jacko and Rangers. Up until this point, they've not looked like a title, certainly not a title winning team, no, or even a title challenging team. However, they do need a good January window. And you listen to Danny Rowe post-match on Saturday, his comments were really interesting, talking about his meeting with Andrew Kavanagh on Saturday morning, looking ahead to the January window, talking about being brave and bold in the transfer window. If there's something there that they think is worth it, they have to go all in. If they really believe in it, if they believe that there's a title challenge, if they believe a title challenge is doable, then they need to go for it. So clearly the manager thinks there's something left in this in this season for them to go for. But if you look at the games at the weekend, Hearts obviously lose the derby. I had a wee feeling for Hibs at the weekend just because I thought Hearts, I still don't think, listen, they've been brilliant, I'm not taking anything away from them, I still don't think they're quite at the level where they just churn out wins, every game or every big game. I thought it'd be tough for them at Easter Road, and it was. Celtic obviously win the game, but as Jacko pointed out, the defensive deficiencies are there for everyone to see, so they're going to lose goals if they keep going like that. And Rangers, again, as much as they get the victory, it was tight. For half an hour in the first half, Motherwell were the better team. Rangers needed Jack Butland to pull off 4 saves, one in particular kept him in the game at 0-0, and moments later Rangers get the goal to win it. So, look, in short, I don't think any of these three teams are going to run away with it. So, assuming Rangers do sign 3 or 4 in the window, which I think they will, Celtic will also strengthen. They clearly need a striker as a priority. And Hearts, obviously with the Jamestown influence, will go and sign some players. There's already a right back coming in. Chesnikov, the winger, looks as if he'll come in. So they will come in this week, Scotland. Yeah, so they'll get better as well. So now I think they probably do have a 3-way title race, which is really exciting, obviously, for us reporting on it, because it feels like we've not had something like this in a long time. So you think Rangers are in it right now then? I think so. I think if Rangers win on Tuesday night, the game in hand against St Mirren, but what does that leave them? 6 points behind both Celtic and Hearts. So, assuming Celtic win in midweek, which is a tough game for Celtic away to Motherwell. Mm-hmm. Having obviously watched Motherwell at the weekend, Motherwell fancied their chances at home against anyone. But I just think with the points gap now, you have to say Rangers are still in it. Can I see them winning it? Probably not, unless there are real significant improvements in January. But the interesting thing to come out of the weekend, and it just sums up this mad season, Rangers have now got the best defensive record in the Scottish Premiership. I mean, that is just staggering to me. When you think...
That's wild. I didn't even know that.
They've got the best defensive record in the league. Danny Rowell's now got 6 clean sheets. So you need to say he has made a difference. He's tightened them up. And by the way, he's done that at a time when his defence has been changing every week due to injuries. He's had to bring Fernandes in, Giga's been in and out, Sterling's now come in, Suter's been out, and then he came back at the weekend. The fullbacks have changed. So he's certainly tightened them up, more organised, more structured, more difficult to score against. So he's kind of fixed that problem, which was clear at the start of the season. He's now got to fix the other side, which is scoring goals. And that's why I think I wrote a piece for the paper tomorrow, just on the back of the game on Saturday. They've got 3 strikers there that are worth, or they were signed for around 17 million, I think, the 3 of them. And Danilo, Majovski and Shamite. None of them are really proving that they're going to be the first choice and they're going to get the goals to take you to a title, or at least challenge for a title. That's why I think a striker, like Celtic, has to be one of the priorities for Rangers in January.
Shamite started yesterday, Scott?
He did.
And?
Listen, it wasn't great. It wasn't his worst game. I mean, his hold-up play was decent at times, but he just never looks like scoring. Jacko just never looks like scoring. And a couple of kind of half chances that he kind of made a mess of in the first half, in the second half. He's unlucky with a wee kind of back heel flick in the second half at Mikey Moore. Should have scored the rebound, I think. But nah, it just doesn't look up to it. I mean, Majovski's obviously been the one, and he's the wee injury, obviously, I think, recently. I expect Majovski to probably come back in on Tuesday night as Danny Rowell kind of switches the strikers. But as I say, none of them look like being the guy to go and lead a title charge.